Welcome to the October PLC team meeting. Here are today's goals. We will go over what educator effectiveness reports are due, talk about the newest change in teacher licensing. We'll find out what is expected of your team this month and what is expected in November. And we will review the district's goals and how we must take a balanced approach to blended and personalized learning. First, let's review the two beginning of year reports due this Friday, your PPG and your SLO. In order to complete your professional practice goal, or PPG, you needed to first complete a self-assessment using your job-specific evaluation tool. This tool is different for teachers, librarians, school psychs, etc. Your self-assessment needs to be completed, but does not need to be submitted. After reviewing your tool, you should have selected a focus area that you would like to improve upon in your professional practice. Remember that your PPG is usually a personal or individual goal. Also due Friday is your Student Learning Outcome, or SLO. In order to complete your SLO, you needed to first collect and analyze student data. Using this data, you should have written a SMART goal statement that explains how and when you will have improved student achievement for a specific focus area, and what data you will use to track growth. Your next set of data is due in January, when you will be assessing whether or not your students are moving toward the goal you set for them. You should be keeping your SLO data on a Google spreadsheet that you or your team created. Remember that an SLO can be an individual or a team goal. A quick reminder about how Google Classroom works. If you turn in your assignment, you will not be able to edit it because Google Classroom turns it into a view-only document. However, this is not permanent. If in the future you want to edit the document, just click on Unsubmit and your editing rights will return. And now on to the latest news out of Madison. As stated in an email that I sent to everyone last week, the state of Wisconsin has once again changed the rules for teacher licensure. They have eliminated all requirements such as PDPs and graduate credits that were previously needed for teachers to maintain their licenses. In its place, they will be automatically issuing life licenses for any teacher who currently holds a professional or master educator license. If you are an initial educator, you will be automatically issued a 3-year provisional license. Initial educators, you also do not have to complete a PDP or credits to maintain your license. However, because you do not currently hold a professional or master license, you have one extra step. After you completed 6 successful semesters of experience in a school district, you will apply for your lifetime license by submitting an application to the DPI that includes a school board verification of your 6 semesters of experience. At this time, this application form is not available. Whether you hold an initial, master's, or professional license, there is still some paperwork that needs to be completed every 5 years in order to maintain your license. According to the post on the DPI website, you must be actively employed for 5 or more consecutive years, and you must log onto the online system and submit a background check and pay a processing fee every 5 years. The next slide contains an opinion that may not be the opinion of everyone. Therefore, here is your warning. If you would like to skip the next slide, please fast forward through it. Although I applaud the state for lessening the paperwork associated with teacher licensure, sometimes too much of a good thing isn't always the best. I think we would be hard-pressed to find any other profession that has this low of expectations for their license requirements. Being in education, we must intrinsically believe that learning more about our craft and setting goals for ourselves is important. With the elimination of all standards of quality, we must now rely on ourselves and the school districts that employ us to set those standards, so we can continue to maintain or even improve the quality of our fellow educational professionals. Over the next few weeks, I will be attending webinars to find out more details about this change. As I learn more, I will be relaying that information to you. Let's talk about October. Some of you may have already had your PLC team time, as the month of October is quite flexible. Remember that all certified staff must account for 90 minutes of PLC time in the month of October. Every team must spend at least 45 minutes together as a team, where you will watch the video, plan team goals, and work on SLO-related activities. Every person then needs to account for an additional 45 minutes of PLC time. There are two choices. A team can either continue to work on team goals, or individuals can take part in one or more seminars on October 13th as a team or individually to work on your professional practice goals. The November early release day is Tuesday, November 21st. Your PLC time will be the normal time from 2:10 to 3:45 and will run like the September early release day. From 2:10 to 2:20, you will watch the video and plan your goals. From 2:20 to 2:55, you will work on SLO-related activities. And from 3 to 3:45, you can either stay together as a team to work on team goals or attend a 45-minute seminar. Make sure you discuss today what your team wants to do for the November early release day. Also, be aware that this early release day takes place the day before a vacation day, so plan accordingly to stay until 3:45. For the last few years, administration has been focusing on collecting data and providing feedback and professional development in three main areas. The first focus is clear learning objectives. It is extremely important for students to understand what they are learning each day. If students in your class are asked, "What are you learning about?" can they explain the learning objective, or will they describe the activity that you're doing? The second focus is high-level questioning and discussion. How are you getting your students to engage in great discussions? Are you asking students to explain their reasoning? And finally, we are working toward high levels of engagement for all students. In order to increase engagement, we will be focusing on using blended and/or personalized learning techniques in addition to clear learning objectives and high-level questioning and discussion. Many studies, such as this one from the Center for Digital Education, show that personalizing the learning in your classroom increases student engagement by 69%. At a recent blended learning workshop, I was shown a slide of the 6 tips of effective instruction. You'll notice that there are 6, not just 1. As we continue our journey into personalized and blended learning, we must remember that we need a balance of many techniques. There is always a danger when we learn a new technique to overuse it. Hopefully, as you learn more about blended and personalized learning and you start to use it in your classroom, you will remember the word balance. In other words, if we overuse an instructional technique, no matter how effective the research says it is, it will not be effective. For example, if we exchange 45-minute lectures with 45-minute videos, we are no more effective than we were before. The key to effective instruction is finding the perfect balance between a multitude of instructional techniques. For example, as effective as it is to give students choice, in order to have effective instruction, we must balance choice with required tasks for all students, so that all students have access to the same core curriculum and skills. And as effective as it is to integrate adaptive technology and independent learning into our lessons, we must also give students ample opportunities of peer-to-peer and student-to-teacher interactions. Therefore, my advice to you as you begin to restructure your classrooms is to keep a balance. As I visit classrooms throughout the district, I'm always reminded of how lucky I am to work with all of you. Last week I saw 2 FIAD teachers who were team teaching. They were giving their students choice while still requiring that they answer the same essential questions. On another day, I walked into multiple math classrooms where students were working in station rotations. Some groups were working together, some students were working independently, and another group was working with their teachers. In a first grade classroom, I witnessed a teacher utilizing amazing questioning as she called on her students for their answers and for their reasonings. We are doing amazing and effective things in our classrooms to help our students succeed. Thank you. In this time where it seems like technology is everywhere, never forget that it is you that makes the difference.